Ready, Jack? Okay, welcome everybody. First of all, we would like to thank DCR and the Secretary of Environmental Energy and Environment Office for the extension to put in additional comments on what we believe should be a full environmental review of the project that is proposed to take place here on Woodland Road. Obviously the city will have more comments that we're still putting together, and we'll have them in by next week, and I believe that the Friends have additional comments that they will be bringing forward. The reason the citizens of Medford are very concerned, obviously, is over environmental reasons, but also the issue of public safety here at this intersection and all the way down Elm Street. If you were to look right over here at what is known as Mullineaux Circle, and across behind it is the Flynn Rink, you'll notice that most of the kids and families from Fulton Heights area, when they go to that rink, they have to cross this area. When they go to Wright's Pond, which is about 400 yards down the road, they also have to cross Elm Street. Because of the additional 4,500 cars a day that are going to enter and exit this area, we believe it's vital for their public safety that traffic improvements be made on Elm Street in order to accommodate whatever the number of cars is that someday, if in fact this project ever gets built, we'll have to accommodate. So the three areas that we're looking at is, number one, Mullineaux Circle. And if while we're watching here you see anybody who takes this turn from the circle to Fulton Street, you'll see that they end up on the wrong side of the road because of the misalignment of the first part of this rotary, which we believe should be moved back, and that the crosswalk should be enhanced for safety of the individuals that use that rink. As you go down to Wright's Pond, you'll see that there's a stretch of 320 feet that there is no sidewalk. And we are asking that in that full environmental review, they look at not only Mullineaux Circle, but the safety concerns on that sidewalk. And if you continue to the bottom of Elm Street, you'll see it's very heavily congested with traffic in morning and evening hours, which we believe will be backed up. The additional traffic will create additional safety hazards for the citizens of this community. So we are asking that all three of those be addressed in the environmental impact. And unfortunately right now, what the plan calls for is everything to stop just short of the Medford border, and has cut out the citizens of Medford and put us at serious risk. So that is one of the things that we are fighting for. In addition to that, others are going to speak about different environmental concerns and the basic understanding that once you take away from Woodland Road, once you stick traffic signalization there, once you put rotaries in, and what you have taken away from the historic character and aesthetic beauty of this road can never be replaced. For any of us from the city, this is part of a 5-mile loop where we hike, where we jog, where we bike. It is part of the area where we canoe, where we row. It is a peaceful and recreational area that we believe, unless there's a full environmental review, will cause serious damage to this entire region. In joining with the Friends of the Fells in the last 2 years in this case, we know that it's coming to a head. And we know that they have borne, and their membership has borne, tremendous financial burden. So the second reason that we are here today is to commit $10,000 to the Friends case to make sure that we have enough revenue to follow this through in the courts and hopefully get our full environmental review. At this point, I would like to call upon State Representative Paul Donato, who has been a great ally in this cause and has even filed legislation related to preventing some of the things that I just talked about from happening. And he's been with us from day one, and he'll be with us till the end.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. 12 years ago, this developer wanted to put 1 million square feet of office building on the site and wanted to tell the citizens of the area that the impact would only be approximately 4,500 automobiles and would not have an environmental impact. And I filed some legislation to prevent that, and we were successful in getting the developer to scale down his project. But during the course of scaling down the project, you'll hear not only that the environmental part of it has been dissipated, but more important is the fact that he's going to take and make it so that Woodland Road, coming from the north, going to the south, will be only one lane, eliminating an entire lane on the south side of Woodland Road, and wants to tell you that 4,500 cars won't have an impact. You've been standing here and you can see the traffic that is here now and the traffic that will be impacted by this overdevelopment of this particular site. So we will continue, along with the mayor and the members of the Friends of the Fells, we will continue to monitor and to observe, but more important, make sure that this developer sees to it that he does not have an environmental impact on this community, and just as important, to mitigate some of the major problems that we will have with the additional traffic that's anticipated. We will continue to do that, and if it takes additional legislation, I'm prepared to make sure that that legislation goes forward, and we'll fight to make sure that we hold this developer accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. And as the representative and I met here a couple of days ago, and we looked at, trying to figure out what the one lane would do to this area, I want you to think of this. As you're leaving the development and you're heading back and traffic is backed up on Woodland Road, then it's backed up all the way down to Elm Street to get on 93. If you're the 25th car in line, but you live right here on Maurice Street or Doonan Street or any place in the upper heights, you're stuck in that line because you've just lost your left-hand lane that would allow you to continue right around to go to your home. So you're going to just sit in that traffic, cause a lot of more pollution for the area. So to us, it doesn't make much sense. Now, another individual who is, I call him the king of the fells, because Mike Ryan, who is the president, has been probably the most active, and a lot of people have been very active, but he's been the most active and inspired leader on this project in trying to protect our fells as we know it today. And also has been a solid ally with the citizens of Medford on improving, hopefully, the public safety improvements that we want to see here. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the Fells, Friends of the Fells, Mike Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Representative. Thank you all for coming here today, and I want to give a great thanks to the City of Medford, to Mayor McGlynn, for helping out at this most important time. This is a time when our 13-year battle to ensure that the Middlesex Fells, its historic parkways, and the public safety of its citizens who live and enjoy this area is protected. And it's always been, as Mayor McGlynn said, and as Representative said, it's an issue of protecting this wonderful, beautiful, rare, natural asset. And the historic parkways are part of that. And Molyneux Circle and all of these historic parkways have been placed by the Mass Historical Commission on the National Register of Historic Places. And we have not come this far in this journey to see it all go up in smoke. But that is what we're facing. And so this week, we learned that the Superior Court in Massachusetts has ruled in our favor, in favor of the citizens, for giving us standing to continue our legal case, which is all about environmental protection and public safety. So at this juncture, at this very time when we are going to continue our court case, we've been given the green light, not only by the Superior Court, but by the Supreme Judicial Court. The City of Medford has stepped forward to assist the Friends of the Fells in this long effort. We thank the city, we thank the mayor. The city council passed a resolution in March in support of environmental review for this whole area. That's in keeping with this citizens campaign, which has been, I think, unparalleled in the history of the Commonwealth for any environmental review of any project. There has been thousands of letters written by citizens, the kind of folks that are standing here today, who have stepped forward and said, you know what, this is too precious, we can't lose it. And this Tuesday, the state has a very important decision which it will convey to us, and that is whether or not it has listened to these letters, listened to our elected officials, and will grant a full environmental impact report on the DCR roadway changes and those 4,500 traffic trips. There has never been a full environmental review. MEPA, the Environmental Affairs Office, on 3 occasions has ruled that the developer has not provided sufficient data and analysis. We're still waiting for that. Come Tuesday, we're going to find out if we are successful. If not, and in any case, we are going back in court and we have filed for an injunction on this roadway project, and we have added new information that we've learned to continue our court case to make sure that there's an environmental review on this project. So once again, I want to thank the Mayor McGlynn. I want to thank Rep. Donato, who, as a freshman, filed his first legislation and on this very issue. So here we are, 13 years later, stronger than ever, and I want to thank everyone and the City of Medford and all citizens who have stepped forward to say, the Fells is too beautiful, too precious, we must save it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. I also want to recognize City Councilor Rick Caviello, who's been a staunch supporter on behalf of everybody's efforts here today. Now, I don't want people to think this is just a 13-year issue, or this is just a 2-year issue on this court case. This goes back to what people envision in this area as far back as the 1800s, as far back as Eliza Wright, who made sure that he conserved and preserved the Middlesex Fells area, for whom Wright's Pond down the street is named after. Eliza Wright is the guy who put this whole thing in motion over 100 years ago to make sure that we had a better quality of life. So this isn't something that people are just jumping onto now. This has been a vision of our region and our people for a very long period of time. At this point, I'd like to introduce a person who is very much involved in this whole process. She is the environmental agent for the City of Medford, and she's also a parent in this neighborhood. That's Alicia Hunt.
Good morning. The city has a number of concerns about the environmental impact that this development and these proposed changes will have on the city, on the beautiful fells that we have here, on the wetlands, and on the air that we breathe. We are very concerned about the added cars. As it is, when I leave my home and I try and travel down Elm Street to get to City Hall and the fells, the traffic is backed up so far that it's unbelievable. And these cars sit in front of people's homes all morning, putting out exhaust. And to add huge numbers of cars sitting on these roads, just sitting there, the gas that's going to be wasted and the pollution in the air, it's very upsetting to think of what's happening. And then we have people walk down to the bus stop and they're breathing in this air. And we have great people in this city who run this beautiful 5-mile loop and who bicycle along it, and to have them sit to exercise not next to just those cars, but the cars that'll be backed up along this road as well, is really of great concern to the city. Not to mention the impact on the safety of this area for the children. There are over 20 children who take school buses 1 block. They pick up the bus down here, and up here. Within 1 block of this circle, over 20 children every morning get on and off that bus. They stand there. The number of cars, you sit in a back up here, you're gonna have road rage going down Fulton Street and Highland Ave if they're not backed up as well. It's very concerning. My babysitter has asked me to get a parking permit for Wright's Pond because she does not feel safe crossing this street. She asks me to get a parking permit so that she can drive 2 blocks, because that's the only way she feels she can safely convey my children from our house to Wright's Pond when I'm at work during the day. That is ridiculous. The number of parents we have here with little infants and babies in the neighborhood that want to walk over here or walk in the fells, and they can't get to these beautiful resources. It's hard enough as it is with the traffic that we have here, let alone the additional traffic that we'll see from a development up the street. So we would like to see an added environmental review, as well as some improvements to the roadways, to the sidewalks, to crossing lights, so that it's safe for our families here in Medford. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alicia. And as many as there are of us here who would like to see this full environmental review, there are others who would like to see us disappear. So to all of them, I would say, for those of us who went swimming a greater part of our lives in Wright's Pond, and skated at Flynn Lake, and canoed on Spot Pond, and jogged, biked, and hiked around this entire 5-mile loop, we're not going anywhere. That's why we're committing the money, and we're going to fight this thing to the end for the safety and the protection of the citizens of our community. Are there any questions? Thank you very much, everybody.